So if you didn't know already, I run a small Etsy business on Etsy, and I think it's probably a year old now, maybe just under a year old. I started it mid last year, and I've made, I think, 12 sales, which is fantastic. And my dream is to just try and keep growing this business and try and make a bit more income from it, and just see how far I can take it, really. So if you haven't yet seen my Etsy webpage, then go and have a look to see what I make. But this week I want to focus on building that business a bit more, and what I'm aiming to do is to create a few more prints and create a bit of a stock, because I want to try and take my little Etsy business into the real world and go and sell my artwork at a market. That is one of my goals for this year, because I've never sold anything at a market before. I really want to give it a go, and I think it'd be really, really cool to try out. So what I want to do this week is basically try and create a bit of a stock for all my prints so that I can take them out into the real world and sell them, release them. Over the last few months or so, I've really been delving into like the business side and the marketing side behind art and everything. I've been reading books that I've been recommended. One that I'm currently on at the moment is Art Inc. by Lisa Congdon, and that book basically goes over the basics of how to sell your art and how to sort of market it and try and make a bit of a living from it, and that sort of really inspired me to go out and give it a go. I've also recently been watching a lot of ArtTube, and that's also been inspiring me, and so there's a lot of inspiration behind me at the moment, and now I just need to harness it and do something with it. So this week is dedicated to building my store. Just a couple of days ago I've restocked my paper supply, so I usually print my prints on A5 paper. It's gloss 250 GSM, so it's nice and thick, and that's been working really well for me at the moment. And I also found some old Montmar watercolour paper. I want to try and print onto that as well. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if the colours on the printer will run with it or what will happen, but it would be so good to just get a bit of a texture happening in the paper, and if I can successfully do that, I'd like to make bookmarks. That's another thing that's on my to make list, so that is the goal for this week. It's just a lot of printing, and I thought I'd take you along and just document it all, and we'll see how we go. Okay, let's do it.
When the stars glow bright, the summer's old. In the misty bright moonlight I were told, when the storm is raging in your head, when you feel there's nothing more ahead, the hills they seem all green but they hide all the monsters, and you kept holding my hand as you reached for water. The hills by the lake, you were chasing your dream, and I gave you a rose that you kept on seeing, kept on seeing. It was worth the fight.
Okay, so I finished my first ever bookmark. I just wanted to quickly experiment with it, so I used some textured paper, textured matte paper. It's 216 GSM, so it's quite thin. Not ideal for a bookmark, really. I'd really like something thicker. But I wanted to see how well it sort of looked as like a product by itself, and to be honest, it turned out okay actually. It looks quite stylish in my opinion. It would look even better like if I did a hole punch up the top and then threaded through some yarn, or not yarn, but some sort of like decorative string or something. You know how bookmarks usually have it. The only thing that I need is thicker paper, because this will not last the test of time. It will get bent very easily, but not a bad result for first time. I wanted to experiment printing it on like a thicker piece of paper just to see how it turned out. This paper that I'm using is Montmar A4 size, and I printed an A5 thing on A4 size, so obviously I knew it was going to get blown up slightly, but not like this slightly. This is 2 hands worth of bookmark here. The paper is slightly yellow to start off with, so that's sort of made everything very warm looking. but as far as the lines are concerned and everything, they've come out pretty sharp. This camera's not going to show it, sort of. You can see it's reasonably sharp anyway. So if I can get proper white paper with this thickness and texture, then this could work out really well. But at least while I'm playing around with that idea, I can still print out heaps of my other prints that I've got here and just create more of a backlog. So yesterday, as you saw, I did a lot of mucking around with trying to make bookmarks. Today though, I'm going to do what I set out to do and do a whole batch of printing for each of my prints. As I've never sold at a market before, I really have no idea how many I would expect to sell. The imposter syndrome version of me thinks that I'll just be standing there and sell none, but I'm trying to be optimistic and assume that I'll sell a couple at least. So I think having a stock of about 7 or 8 prints for each one, that should be fine, I think. If not, then, I mean, it's a good problem to have, isn't it? That's the thing with this whole art business at the moment. It's a lot of trial and error, and I think personally, I can only learn by actually doing it and just putting myself out there. So that's what I'm doing. So this is one of my favourite paintings and prints that I've made so far. So happy with how it turned out. So I wanted to print that one first and it's turned out perfectly, just how the other ones look, which is always good. That's 5 for the collection, so we'll get on with printing everything else. And what would you know, my battery's running low on my camera, so time to charge that up, I guess. Okay, so annoyingly, and I'm on my phone now, so sorry for the change in audio and video quality, but I just realised I was looking at these and every corner, bottom right hand corner, there seems to be like an ink spill and it seems to be like ripping up the edges of the print. So all these are shit. Yay! And I only realised while I was halfway through printing my Bristol one, and it's done the exact same thing for that one. So, oh no, something's going funny inside the printer and all these are worthless. I guess I can use these for just decoration in my studio now, but I didn't really need 5 prints of a church. So yeah, that's really annoying and a waste of ink, which is the main thing because ink is pretty expensive. So holy crap, now I've got to try and fix my printer. Nothing ever goes to plan, does it? Just tried doing a nozzle check because I just wanted to see whether it teared up the edges of like a normal A4 sheet of paper, and it didn't, which is slightly annoying. Printer's now making funny noises. Help me. There's a cleaning the print head option. We're giving that a go at the moment. The sounds are horrific coming from my poor little printer. So I'm trying to print the church again. Fingers crossed this actually comes out properly, because otherwise I'll have to open up the machine and have a look what's in there. And I really hate wasting ink and stuff like this, so this is really inconvenient. Here we go. Oh, bugger. That's terrible. My printer's had a bit of an explosion. So an update to my problem. I did open it up, I had a look around, I couldn't really work out how I could properly clean it. And so I just tried to print a test A4 page and it turned out fine. Now I tried to just print that test A5 page out and it's fine as well, which is weird. I'd expect that it would have come out with black ink on the corner, but it came out with nothing. So I'm going to try and print again, and I guess I'll see if it works. Why is it doing that? It took a good couple of hours to work out what was going wrong, and I think I put it down to the fact that the paper was sort of bending upwards, and that was catching on one of the printer heads, I think, and leaving a mark. So luckily I bought some fresh paper and everything has printed perfectly. So I've put them each into these plastic slips, and there's about 7 or 8 prints in each one. And now they're ready to take into the world, I guess. So I think I'll leave the vlog here for now. My next step is to do some research and send some emails to see if I can get a spot in a market. and then we'll take it from there. It's very exciting. If you haven't yet already, you can go and check out my Etsy site if any of these prints are of interest to you. And also, if you have any sort of feedback on how my prints look or reasons why you would or wouldn't buy them, then let me know, because every little bit of information really helps. But apart from that, I'll see you again in another video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!